Let's take a few minutes to talk about the Motorola Razr 2025. I've had the chance to use it for about a month now, and I'm going to say this, for my money, this is the best $700 you could spend on a smartphone, and I could already hear the criticisms coming in from the comment section saying, with that spec sheet, it's a mid-range spec sheet. Granted, you can hit me with all those things. I still don't care, because the folding form factor, the compact clamshell form factor of the Razrs has absolutely won the folding phone wars. Now, I'm going to talk a lot about the big folding form factors coming up when Samsung over the summer releases the Z Fold 7. But if you had to ask me, the one that I want to carry around in my pocket, and I've said this so many times, I would go ahead and pick up the Motorola Razr 2025. And for the first year, I don't think you have to spend extra. I have the Ultra. I'm testing it now. Do I like the slightly larger outer display? Absolutely. It is nice to have the 4-inch outer display on the Ultra, but I think you get enough of the same utility from the 3.6-inch display or outer display on the Motorola Razr 2025, the standard one, and I think you're going to be able to pick this device up. You're already seeing it. Carrier deals, phenomenal. Link in the description does help the channel, but you're seeing a lot of attractive prices on this. I've already seen it for as low as $600. I've seen it on carrier deals as low as $100. Now you got to jump through some hoops. You got to stay with them for 3 years. You got to get their top of the line plan and whatever happens to be. But this is following the trend of other Motorola mid-rangers in that you're going to get some phenomenal deals like Metro by T-Mobile type deals on this phone. And I think that's the reason why you're going to want to pick one up. All right, let's talk about the design, because that's really when it's not going to be the spec sheet. It's not going to be anything. You pick this up for the design and the form factor, and that's what Motorola realizes. That's the thing that Motorola gets more than Samsung, and that's why I consistently enjoy the Razrs more than the Galaxy Z Flip series. And it has nothing to do with performance. It has nothing to do with anything. That's why I'm going to question the Razr. I'm going to compare these two devices in another video, and that's why I question why Motorola even needed the Ultra version of this particular phone. Because it's about the style, it's about the use, it's about the design. There's a lot of things to like about this particular one. Now, Motorola's made it slightly more robust. You do feel that the hinge is a bit more solid this year. It's a bit more sure. It feels a little bit more durable. I've never had a problem with the Motorola Razr hinges going back to the 2023 version, the Razr Plus. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but it is nice to have a little bit of an extra, more sturdy feel to the hinge. IP48, dust and water, whatever. Is it take to the beach level? No, I don't think so. I think you're going to be still careful with this. But it is nice to know that, in the rain, larger dust particles, larger dirt particles aren't going to get into the hinge mechanism. It is nice to have some IP rating, at least on the particle side. That's what that 4 is. So you're getting something as opposed to last year where you really weren't. And I also like the improved kind of nylon weave. It depends on the color you get. And by the way, if you don't get the Pantone Spring Bud, you're doing it wrong. Sorry, this is the only color that you buy this in. I like the Gibraltar Sea. It's nice. I have it in my Moto G stylus. It's just got just the right hint of mix of blue and green. This is the one that you're going to want to pick up. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous coloring. It's a pop. Everybody who sees it just flat out loves it. All right, outer display. This is another reason why I prefer the Razr over the Z Flip series. No good lock to get my experience on the outer display. No good lock. And I could just go back and forth if I need to. I hold down. I could scroll. I could go up. And people say, all these things. I love the games on here. I love the little time waster games that they have. I love the fact that I do get the widgets and stuff that I need. But I could also just add apps that I want to the outer display. Are you going to run into the occasional compatibility issue? Sure. I'll take that as opposed to having to set up 7 different things on my Z Flip to get the same experience. I'm going through good lock, I'm going through apps, the whole thing. It's way too much of a process, way too much of a production, when I could just load up, literally hit the edit icon, and go ahead and pick what I want on the outer display. That's a much better experience. That's how you use an outer display. When you unfold it, 6.9-inch display, gorgeous, 1080p, but it's really not going to limit me in any particular way. Still a bit taller, but I do like the feel of it in the hand, and that's to me the appeal. It's a full-fledged smartphone experience with a gorgeous, bright 6.9-inch display when I need it. It's a compact, traveling, pocket-friendly companion when I don't need all that space. That's why I love performance. Are you going to know it's a mid-range? Dimensity 7400X, 8 gigs of RAM. Yeah, you'll feel that. It's perfectly snappy. It runs everything that you'd want to do on your daily lives. You know, I don't really love gaming on flip phones anyway. I don't like the way that the coating, the film that they put on there feels against my thumbs. I just don't. It's a weird aspect ratio for gaming. I just don't love the gaming experience on these compact foldables. So I don't mind that I'm not going to get excellent gaming performance. You can still game on here. Pokemon Go runs fine. You can still run Genshin Impact. You can still run these games that you're going to want to run. But I just understand that if you're looking at the higher graphical settings, if you want all the frames, you're not going to really get that on here. But that's not the point. That's not the point. That's why I'm going to keep coming back to it over and over and over again. Motorola understands the assignment with these. These are meant to be phones. This is meant to be a phone that you text on, that you use social media on, that you do light work on, that you enjoy carrying around. It's not something I can necessarily say for the Z Flip series or other phones. That's why I really like this. Battery life is fine. I get a full day and then some. Battery drain is fine. They did up the battery, I believe, 500 milliamp hour battery in this one this year. I really like that. It gets me through the entire day. 30-watt charging on this one, wired charging. Listen, if on a wish list, would I have liked the 68-watt charging that I see on other Motorola devices? Sure. Smart Connect, great piece of software. You can download it on a lot of other Android devices than the Motorola Razr. But if you want that DeX experience, or if you're coming from a Z Flip, if you're kind of nonplussed with what you're getting on the foldable side for Samsung, this does have that Smart Connect alternative. And I really do like it. I like the desktop mode, I like the mirroring mode. There's plenty of things that Motorola Smart Connect does well. And it's a really versatile piece of software that helps out your Motorola Razr. Cameras, here's what I'm going to do. 50 megapixel main sensor, 13 megapixel ultra wide. I'm going to link in the description to my Android Police review because it has a few shots there that I use as examples in a gallery, and you can sit there and actually look at them at your leisure and take some time with them. Does the 50 megapixel megapixel primary camera sensor saturate? Yeah. Would some consider it oversaturation? Possible. But that's what you get with these Motorola mid-range camera systems. That seems to be the default. If they tend to skew slightly towards giving you deeper contrast, more vibrant colors, because personally, that's what looks good on social media. And if that's what this phone gives me, I don't have a problem with that. You can easily go into editing, tone it down if you need to, but this is a phone meant for a grab and go, point and shoot photo experience. That's not for the hardcore shutterbugs. That's not for somebody who's going to live and die by that night image of your food or whatever you happen to be. If you're in good lighting, you're going to get a nice, vibrant, contrasty image similar to what you get on Motorola Edge, Moto G Stylus, all those ones that use that kind of Motorola 50 megapixel sensor that I've seen. I think this is a newer one, but you're going to get the same feel, the same color science that you're used to from Motorola mid-range devices. Software, fine. Hello UI, Android 15, only 3 years of support, yes. But a lot of people, I have a lot less of a problem with that on this device for $700 or even less than I do on this device for $1,300. I think that's ridiculous. But listen, it is what it is. 3 years of support, and I'm telling you, most people, as I could jump up and down about Motorola's lackluster software support all I want. But the majority of people I see comments from, especially on devices, now this is a bit more expensive at $700, but on the $500, $400, $300 Motorola devices, they're like, yeah, I don't care. I got it for $200 on a Metro deal. I walked into Walmart, I bought it for $100. I'm just going to do that again in 2 years or 3 years. Well, it's time to upgrade the hardware anyway. So I can see your point. And Motorola certainly is catering towards that. They see that point as well. So while I would love to see more support for people who want to keep their phones a little bit longer, I do understand why Motorola has kind of gone down this road. And if it keeps the devices, if it keeps the devices relatively inexpensive, then I have no problem with it. What I do have a problem with is this. This is the games folder with this bloatware suggestion stuff. Got to stop it. Gotta stop it with this. That's stuff that you find on a $100 blue phone, okay? Not a $700 Motorola. We gotta stop it with the bloatware on Moto stuff. People complain about Samsung. This is what bloatware looks like. This is me going into a folder that I have on my phone that says play without downloading, game pics that you could download, Word Galaxy. I can download these things on my own if I need to. So that's why I wish Motorola would, and stop with the AI. Moto AI, they're trying to throw it in their face. They got it on the outer screen. They got this remember feature that'll start a transcription of what you're doing, and you could go back and you'll have a whole thing there that's like that you could go back and reference if you need to remember something. I don't know. They got like a sketch to image type thing. I think they call it Image Studio on here as well. It is what it is. Motorola AI is what it is. I don't know why they're pushing into it. You do need a Moto account. At least they're not charging us at the moment. You need a Moto account, which is free to sign up for. But you're going to want to do it, though, and get it out of the way, because this thing will remind you every single time that you accidentally hit something even remotely related to AI, it'll want your account. So, whatever. The software is fine. Moto gestures are here. That's something you could ignore. If you get this on a carrier discount or in a couple months, for $600, $500, you're absolutely winning. Discounts from what previous years or any guide will go a lot deeper than that. In 6 months' time, you can pick this up for $350. It's more durable. It's nice. It feels great in the hand. I've had no reason to put a case on this. That nylon weave or whatever they have on the back, it's like a kind of a rubberized texture. It is nice and looks fantastic as well. I think if you're just looking for a smartphone, you just want to have fun, you want to do a lot of the basics and have an excellent experience while you do it, this is the best $700 you could spend. And I think if a lot of people who are using them might agree with that as well. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that delicious day.